Tinka Tuesday. Hey YouTube. Whew. The sun is out today. So I feel like it's been a while since we've had a sunny day here where I am. So I was like really excited to come out and try to get at least a little bit of the sun today. I think it's supposed to get dark out in like half an hour. So it's 3:30 right now. So I just got to the club. I went inside a few minutes ago to sign in, and back in the kitchen area where I usually like to hang out, there's like all these big boxes back there, and like there's probably a good, I'd say 10 to 15 big boxes back there. And when I say big, I mean big. They're like taller than I am. You could probably fit like 2 or 3 of me in there, in each of the boxes. I guess they're for bar stools. It looks like we're getting new bar stools, because I saw some new, bar stools back there also out of the boxes. Which, all right, yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense. I don't really go by the bar area very often, because I don't really drink, and I don't know, the bar is near the stage, and I usually like to be on stage, so rather than be by the bar, I'm just usually trying to go on the stage when I'm here at the club. But, so yeah, but it's just like very crowded in the kitchen area now. There's like no room to really like walk around or do anything. So I tried to rearrange some of the boxes as best I could to like make a pathway so that you could like walk through the kitchen still. And so like the sides of the tops of the boxes weren't like sticking out like into the lane of traffic. Like I tried to like kind of turn the boxes like to where the sides coming out at the top were like folded over, or like not, you know, just not as obtrusive, sticking out as much and that kind of thing. So I was able to watch back my video that I did yesterday. It's been a while since I've been able to watch my videos back after I do them. I used to do that pretty much all the time. Like a few weeks ago, I was doing that like, you know, just on a regular basis. Pretty much after every video I did, I would watch back later at my apartment from my laptop after work. But it's been a while since I've been able to really do that. But I was able to do it last night, and I actually really liked my video from yesterday, because despite the kind of, you know, crappy stuff I was talking about for a lot of it, I guess I was in a pretty good mood for whatever reason. I was laughing a lot, and I think it's because there were a lot of squirrels out, and I'm just that simple-minded of a person at times, I guess some of the time, where squirrels will just do it for me and make me laugh like that and put a big old smile on my face. And I was wearing my earmuffs and that kind of thing. I don't know. I like the video. I don't like how I look in that video. I felt like my lap area looked like, I don't know, like a busted up lumpy seat cushion or something, like couch cushion. But but other than that, I like the video itself. I don't know, I get so bloated. Like I had to go into work now to sign in, but also to pee, because yeah, before I leave my apartment, it's so cold and the wind just blows directly into the windows, how they're faced, so it just gets really, and I don't have the heat on as well, so that's a big part of it. So it just gets really cold in there. So for me to be able to like it's a whole big story. It's a whole big thing of how this works over there, but or works, you know, how I do things there. It's really a challenge for me to get myself out that front door. So for me to, you know, attempt to do that when I'm able to do it, I like not guzzle because they're hot liquids, but I drink a lot of hot beverages, like just one after the other, you know, to where it's like I get very blowed up and I have to pee like all the rest of my day and night in the shift here, you know, at work after, like. But anyway, at least I was able to get out today. I really didn't want to. but I was like, no, but it's Tinka Tuesday and the sun is out. So, you know, I gave myself some reasons, or tried to. I wasn't able to do a video with Taz last night, but maybe tonight if I see her, that's something we could try to do. She's been wearing a lot of like light blue colors lately that I really like, and I think I have a dress. Well, I know I have a dress. I'm pretty sure it's in my locker. I think it's in my locker, but I have a dress that I think would match and go well with that like aesthetic and color palette pretty well. It's like a silver and blue sparkly dress with sequins. I usually don't like to wear sequins, but I would probably want to wear that dress for you know, for the next video that we do if she's still wearing those kind of light blue colors. So I think that would be fun. I have some more questions for her. So we didn't have pizza at the club last night, which I was like, yay, okay. So but then it's kind of funny because one of the customers, like usually it's the club that gets the pizza. I guess they were saying Sundays and Mondays, or maybe it's just Sundays now. It's kind of weird to do it 2 nights in a row like that. But I guess it's like for football season, which goes until February apparently. So that's gonna be a while, I guess. So the club didn't get pizza last night. So I was like, yay, okay, no more temptation for tonight with that there. It's just the smell really distracts me. You know, I like the taste of pizza, but the smell just like really, it's just distracting to me. So, but you know, it's like, okay, no pizza for last night, but then a customer ended up getting it. So it's, Jesus, I mean, that's just like, I wish people here at the club liked me the way that they seem to like pizza. Like if I could be as popular with people here as pizza is, I'd probably do a lot better than I do. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Anyway, what else? Sorry, I need my notes lately. I just can't otherwise sometimes. My brain is freezing in my head lately. Oh, okay, so in my video yesterday, there was a guy in a red truck, just like sitting in the parking lot for most of my video. And it was just like bugging me, you know, because I'm wearing red, and I mean, my video was an hour long yesterday, and he was pretty much in his truck for the entire time up until I was wrapping my video up. He only went in just like right before my video, before I ended the video. And I really ended the video. I mean, I ended the video because it was over an hour, but also because my car wasn't on, so my phone wasn't charging. So the battery on my phone was like a sliver left. And, you know, like my shift was about to start and that kind of thing. But, so yeah, it was kind of freaking me out, that guy in the red truck. And I did see him in the club later, obviously, because he went in there eventually, right before I did, towards the end of my video. And it was like, I think there were 3 dancers with myself included. So I'm pretty sure it was me and just 2 other dancers for the start of the shift yesterday. And both of those other 2 dancers were by the bar with a customer, and I was on stage, and then there was the red truck guy by the bar by himself, staring at me, not staring, but looking at me while I was on the stage, not tipping me, just sitting there and kind of just like looking at me. And you know, a lot of dancers would like do the math and be like, okay, dancer, customer, customer, dancer, and like go over to that guy. But I just like being on stage, and I didn't, you know, feel like talking to him, so I didn't. But luckily eventually more dancers came in, and some other dancer went over to talk to him eventually, but it took a little while, you know. And at one point he went outside, and I don't know, I've had stuff go missing from my car before. Not like all the time, thankfully, but it has happened before. So honestly though, I don't even think it's just from here at the club. I'm pretty sure it's happened when I was at the gym too. Or I'm not really too sure. It's hard to say. It's hard to tell what exactly happens with that. Like I've had stuff go missing from my car, my apartment, and my locker here at work. So hopefully it's just me misplacing things. I really, really try to convince myself of that a lot. I really try. But then other times I'm like, not too sure. Anyway, so I went out to the lobby to because I try to park pretty close to the front door, as close as I can, pretty much. So I went out to the lobby to look out the doors to see my car. And at one point, while he was thankfully he was on the phone, it looked like, but he was standing right next to my car, like right next to it on the passenger side. It kind of looked like he was looking in it. Maybe he wasn't, but it kind of looked like he was. He was just very close to my car, like closer than I would have. I didn't like it. But then he saw me, you know, like looking through the doors at him. So he kind of like backed off a little bit. But I don't know, it drives me nuts because otherwise I'd really just want to be on stage, like doing my thing, like stretching. Like I always need to stretch more than I do. Like there's never enough stretching for me. With the way that I dance here and go on the pole and just try to be pretty active. So I really wanted to be on stage, yeah, just like doing my thing, but it's just such a crappy feeling to like always be worried about that stuff. Like, oh my gosh, like I have to go check on my car, like what's going on at my apartment when I'm not there for 10 hours or longer at a time. Like I'm just constantly like, and it's like, it does suck because people have commented how my car is so messy. My apartment is too. Like I kind of just like gave up on trying to like have nice stuff or like a nice like environment for myself because yeah, with stuff going missing, it's just such a crappy feeling. Like I don't want to care about any of my stuff all that much because it could just be, you know what I mean, go missing. So I mean, I carry around this huge bag. I can barely lift it up. Oh my god, I can barely lift this freaking. This bag is very heavy. It's been a while since I've climbed the pole with it. Oh crap. Although I've done that quite a few times before. I don't know how. I can barely climb the pole as is without that bag. So to climb the pole with that bag, I literally don't know how I've done things before. Like I've climbed the pole with a big heavy broom handled squeegee kind of thing. I've before like this long handled with like a big squeegee at the end, like a squeegee like this big, like heavy, and like a big thick long broom handle type thing. I've climbed the pole with something like that a few times recently. Just I don't know how, because I literally can barely climb the pole regardless, like without these things. So it's all very strange to me. Like, is this all just like a dream / nightmare, or is any of this real? It can't be, because that doesn't make sense. So yeah, it's like I want to try to clear out my car and like, but I've just kind of given up on stuff like that. My apartment too, because again, it's like, and if it's all messy like this, I actually made a comment about this before, like if it's all just messy and a bunch of crap just thrown around everywhere, then, you know, if stuff goes missing again in the future, it's like, well, whatever, it's just like junk anyways, it's all just a mess. It's junk removal, it's free junk removal. People pay for that kind of thing. I've seen ads for it. I've seen ads literally for like junk removal where people pay for people to come do that. So it's like, if I just have everything around me look like a big waste bin, no, it's not actual trash, but it's messy enough to where I can tell myself it's all just a bunch of junky crap. So then if stuff goes missing, it's like, whatever, they're just clearing out, they're making more space for me. You know what I mean? Like then I just have less stuff to worry about and less stuff to try to organize maybe later at some point in the future. I don't know. I really try to tell myself to think positively as best I can. You know what I mean? I always try to see the silver lining with things. I always try to like put a positive spin on things any way that I can think to try to do. But it is very challenging for me. Like, I'm never gonna be able to like fully lie about it and be like, oh no, it's great to have my stuff go missing. It's great to have people breaking into my car in my apartment. That feels so great. Like, really, it's a wonderful feeling. Anyway, but you know what? I don't want to think about that right now. I mean, you know, I've mentioned it countless times on here before. A big part of my channel is like for me to just try to have the courage to like face things and like address them and to speak them out loud, because it is so psychologically difficult to acknowledge, to accept, but even to like acknowledge the things that I've been through, the things that I go through currently and just like all the time, not like a lot, like the things that have happened and the things that do happen, yeah, like in my present tense, like in my present lifestyle kind of thing, existence. It's, you know, like obviously I know this stuff sucks. I know a lot of stuff from my past sucks, like duh, like, you know, no shit, but to actually like face those things to actually like speak them out loud, to actually, and like publicly on the internet especially, you know, that's a difficult thing. And for the longest time I thought about maybe trying to do that kind of thing, and I just wasn't sure if I would ever be able to. Like I thought about starting this channel for years and years and years and years and years before I actually did. I think it's been about 4 months that I've had this channel now. I started it in August, so August, January, February, March, April, May, June, August, September, October, November. Yeah, it'll be 4 months at the end of November, at the end of this month. So yeah, I mean, the stuff that I talk about and mention on here, it's like, I can't believe this stuff is actually real and has happened, and this is what I deal with, and this is what I've been through. I mean, you know, it's because I guess in my day-to-day life I just try not to dwell on it. I try not to focus on it. I try not to think about it too much. Obviously it's there in my brain, but I just try to think about other things like earmuffs and squirrels and just whatever I can try to think about to put a smile on my face, or just positive. I try to be positive, you know, but to actually acknowledge this stuff, it's like, holy crap, like, damn. Maybe it's not real. Maybe it's just a nightmare that I've had and like continues on sometimes. I don't know. Anyway, what else do I have written down here? Yeah, I don't know. I've mentioned recently that I've been seeing my favorite manager less and less recently. But I mean, I just really love the way that they do the lights and the music for my stages. And I used to have entire shifts like that, mostly last year, a little bit of this year, earlier this year. It used to be day shifts, so it used to be like 6 hours, and I used to do a lot of shifts like that throughout the week with him. But the schedule has changed around, and now I only see him like a couple of shifts here and there. And the way that it's been, he only really does the lights and the music for the stage when I'm working for like a few hours, because then later on the actual DJ will come in. So lately I've been coming in around 4 in the afternoon. Not in the morning hours, but but then the live DJ gets in around, I guess, 9 usually. So it's like between 4 and 9 on Sunday and Monday, he'll be doing the lights and the music for the stage. And that's like my time to like try to get into the zone that I like to try to get into sometimes, because that zone is a whole different world and a whole different type of experience for me. That's like heaven, whereas like pretty much everything else in my existence feels like hell. So that's like, except for squirrels and earmuffs, of course. But, and you know, like my other favorite people like Taz and Paris and my grandmother. Oh, that's the thing that I was thinking of too, that I had written down that I wanted to mention. Like yesterday, in my video yesterday, I was mentioning my favorite people. And the 4 people that come to my mind that are like my favorite people lately and for a while is, yeah, my dancer friend Paris, my dancer friend Taz, both of whom I've done videos with on here before, and then my favorite manager, who I mention in almost all of my videos, even though I tell myself not to, and my grandmother. Now, the thing with these things is my grandmother is obviously old. She's not going to be around forever, and I don't know what I'm going to do when she's not around anymore. It's going to be... I've known almost my entire life that when she passes away at some point, that's going to be like probably one of the most difficult things I'll ever have to deal with in my life, ever. Like, that's going to be very, very bad for me. If I think about it or talk about it too much, I will start to cry sometimes, and I have before in a video on here before. I don't want to, you know, like, but yeah, so there's that. And then with my favorite manager here at the club, they're going to be leaving next spring. So I just think about, like, at some point in the future, they're not going to be around anymore, and that's probably not very far into the future. I mean, again, my favorite manager is leaving next spring, and then my grandmother's pretty old, so, you know. But then there's Taz and there's Paris. Now, Taz and Paris are the only 2 people, like, in my life that are aware of my YouTube channel, as far as I know. They're the only 2 people that I've, like, told about it, you know, which is obviously very risky and a strange feeling, because there's a lot of, like, crazy, very personal things that I talk about here on this channel. Like, very, very, just kind of dark, just stuff that really freaks me out to think about other people being aware of, you know. But it's just about me having the courage to face these things, and the courage, like, with all the stuff that I've been through and all the, like, bullshit that's been, you know, sent my way and thrust upon me by others, like, who I'm not even aware who they would be, like, a lot of the time. Sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not. Like, I don't know who goes into my apartment when I'm not there. I don't know who's gone into my car when I'm, you know, to take stuff out of my car before. I don't know who does those things, and I honestly don't really want to. So it's like, there's just so much crap. Like, sometimes I'm aware of who's done stuff to me, like bad things, and other times I'm not. But just to have the courage to, like, address it in a public way, like the internet, you know what I mean? Like a public enough way. I mean, the internet is a weird thing, obviously, but it's kind of public. It can be considered public. So, like, I have, like, this fear too of, like, all these guys that come into the club that I don't want to, like, look at or talk to or be around. Like, what if, like, all my subscribers or, like, the people that watch my videos are, like, just them? You know, it's like Taz and Paris, and then just these guys that come into the club that I'm like, that I just, you know, try to avoid. That's a bad thought and a bad... What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Oh well. Oh well. I don't know. But, so yeah, with Taz and Paris knowing about my channel, it's like, I don't know. I want to think I can trust them, and, it's not like we're, like, friendly to the point where we hang out outside of the club, but I guess we probably could. We've talked about it. I've talked about it with both of them before. I'm just the kind of person that never has the time or the energy to, like, actually do stuff. Like, it sounds great in theory for me to try to want to do things, like, fun things, but I'm just, my days off and I'm not here at the club, I'm really just trying to catch up on sleep, and or there's, like, a list of things that I have to try to do, you know what I mean? If I'm lucky, maybe I'll be able to push myself to go to the gym. But then it's like all these errands, all these tasks, all these things that I have to take care of to try to, you know, because my family, I don't have family in the area. I'm on my own. I've been on my own for a long, long time. So, you know, and I have a lot of issues, a lot of things that I struggle with, undiagnosed, no healthcare, the list just goes on and on. So I really don't have time or energy to do things like I would like to do in theory, you know. But then also, Taz is a Gemini, and I do love Geminis. I've mentioned before a lot of times, like, I've always liked Geminis a lot. But they're very fun people, but the Geminis I've known in the past have, well, I don't know. People are more than just their astrology signs. Like, come on. Like, hello. Like, what? Like, you can't just go by astrology signs. But also, Paris is an Aquarius. And I've had weird times with Aquariuses too. I like Aquariuses, but I've had a lot of weird times with Geminis and a lot of weird times with Aquariuses. There was a Gemini, like, friend of mine back in high school. And one night, I got alcohol poisoning, I guess, where I was like, they said my blood alcohol was almost 0.4, and I woke up in the hospital later with like a tube down my nose and a catheter in, and they said that I was very close to dying from that. It was one of my first times drinking alcohol, so I didn't know what I was doing and stuff like that. But I guess while that was happening, what I heard, I don't remember obviously, but what people told me is that she was like, she left, we were at this like party outside or whatever, and I guess people told me that she had like left with her boyfriend to like go do stuff, go just hang out, them two, and have relations. and then this other Gemini friend of mine from high school, I was, I guess, I don't drink now, but I used to drink back in high school, and I kind of had a problem with alcohol back in high school. So I passed out at, not a party, but like at a guy's place one time, and there were like other people there, but while I was passed out, this guy like kind of took advantage of me. And this Gemini friend of mine from high school, she like kind of started hooking up with him and like not dating him, but they were kind of like almost a thing. Like shortly after that happened, they were like hanging out and like, yeah, like kind of like becoming a thing right after that kind of thing happened. And I told her about it, you know, and stuff, and it was just really weird. But I just tried to be like, well, okay, whatever, like they're just hitting it off, they just click. Like, I don't know, people do stuff, people make mistakes. I've made tons of mistakes. It's not like he like was violent with me, or like, it wasn't like a like a serious, like, I don't know, it wasn't like a big thing. It was just like, anyways, and I don't know, I think she might have hooked up with my ex one time when she came over to visit, when I had first gotten together with, like, right after high school. I moved in with this guy that we were like a thing, and I mean, this was so long ago. This stuff was like 2007 pretty much, so like whatever by now obviously. But she like came over to our new apartment at one point and was being very flirtatious with him, and they both went off at a certain point. I guess he said he was like driving them somewhere, her and her friend, her other friend that had come up to visit. I really don't remember exactly. I just remember I kind of had a weird feeling about it, like, but you know what, once again, I mean, just because they're a Gemini and an Aquarius, people are more than just their astrology signs. Like, so what? Like, come on. Anyway, like, what? 2007, bitch, really? Dude, that was almost 20 years ago. What? Holy fuck. What the fuck? My old ass. Oh my god. So, okay, back to my favorite manager. So, yeah, it's been really difficult for me to get my ass here to the club lately, just because depression and like winter, the cold weather. It's so cold in my apartment. My windows face the west. That's where the wind's always blowing in. You know, it's just the heat's not on in there. I can't afford it. The thermostat's broken, yada, 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 yada. It's very difficult for me to, you know what? When I got back to my apartment last night / early this morning, it was after midnight. So technically that was earlier this morning, whatever. I was like in the hallway going into my, like, leading up to my apartment, and like, you know, it was cold, whatever. But then I opened the door and I went into my actual apartment area, and I swear to God, this has happened before recently. My apartment felt colder than the hallway did. It really did. And I was like, holy shit, that is not nice. That is not nice to have my actual apartment be colder than the hallway. And like outside, not outside, but it actually almost kind of felt like that, because again, my windows are facing where the wind's blowing, and the hallway, there's only one small window in the hallway, and that's not facing that same direction. That's facing a different direction. So the wind's not blowing into that window as much. So I guess that would make sense in that regard, but still. So I haven't, basically the main motivation for me to come in to the club lately, it's because I'm looking for that zone on stage. I've still been able to get into it other times too, like with other people working. Like there's a couple floor hosts, well, I guess one recently. I mean, in the past there's been others, and DJs. Oh, okay, so there used to be 2 DJs that worked here years ago that really fucked with me, and I mean really fucked with me, and they were both Aquariuses. I kid you not. They were both Aquarius. Oh my gosh. Oh, and then there was an old manager that used to work here years and years and years and years and years ago. We almost kind of had a thing, but they kind of fucked me over a lot. And they were an Aquarius too. Dun dun dun. Anyways, whatever. Okay. What was I saying? Crap. I've been coming in to try to get into that zone on stage. So yeah, people in the past that go into the DJ booth to do the lights and the music, I've been able to get into that past with other people working too, not just my favorite manager, thankfully. It's happened other times too. So with previous DJs and previous employees that go into the DJ booth, and lately there's a floor host that goes into the DJ booth sometimes, where I've really liked how they do it too. And that's actually the floor host that gave me weed for free recently, which I still haven't smoked, by the way. But we chat, you know, like, he's pretty friendly. He's also a Gemini, though. Oh my gosh. Dude, there's so many Geminis and Aquariuses that work here. There really are. Go figure. But I love Gemini and Aquarius. Like, you know, just because certain people in the past have been that sign and, like, you know, done some weird things, like, whatever. Like, again, people are so much more than their astrology sign. So... but my main motivation for coming into the club, like for quite a while now, it's to try to get into that zone on stage. And I was able to get into that zone last night, but it was so brief and so fleeting. It was just like maybe an hour or two, and then like night shift really started and people actually started to come in, and the rotation on stage like really like was like, you know, in that structured format. And then the live DJ came in, which lately the live DJ that I've been working with is a female. And up until her, I don't think we've ever had a female DJ before, at least not like a long term. I think there was one that maybe did it like a week or two, or a very short period for a couple years ago. So a while. And I like her. So, but she comes into work, it's like 9 or 10. So by then, like the night shift is like, again, it's more structured, and I don't know, it's a different vibe. So the kind of, I can still get into a good space and still get great stages sometimes with that, which is, or pretty often. She's a good DJ. I do like her a lot. But you know, again, those night shifts at that time, it's just a different vibe. And usually my stages are more like short-lived. It's not like I can just stay on the stage as long as I want to. Sometimes I can if other dancers are busy or like miss their stage, or if it's like towards the end of the night and it's like no one else is really still there, or they're up, you know what I mean? Like there's certain times it can still happen. Whereas the zone that I really like am referring to, that I used to be able to access more in the past, that used to be able to be activated for me more in the past, and then usually if it does these days, it's earlier in the shifts when it's still really slow and before there's a lot of other people like really here at the club. So then I can use the stage usually for or sometimes hours at a time. In the past, I've actually been on stage for 5 hours before. That's happened twice. That's my record. I've been on stage for 5 hours. No breaks, no bathroom breaks, no stepping a foot off that stage for 5 hours plus. Those times. But that's not like a regular thing now, but that zone, you know, it's usually an earlier in the shift kind of thing these days. And well, it's always been earlier in the shift. It used to be mostly day shifts. These days it's just like less and less. It's tapered off. It's kind of been like phased out, I guess, unfortunately. But I still always like seek it out and crave it and like just try to like hold on to it, you know what I mean? Like I refuse to ever let that go, like consciously or like purposely. Like it's something that I'm always going to strive for and like try to remember that I have that ability within myself. So I was able to get into that zone last night. Again, it was very fleeting. It was shorter lived kind of thing. It lasted for maybe an hour or two, and then the real night shift started and that kind of thing. But I was also able to access it Sunday a bit. Sunday I was really hurting though. I felt a little bit better last night than I did Sunday, thankfully, because Sunday, a couple of nights ago, I was just like really hurting. But I still was able to access that zone, you know, with the manager in the booth doing the lights and the music and stuff. And then last night I did too a bit. And last night I was able to do this move that I like to do where I come down into a middle split on the stage floor without using my hands or my arms or anything to steady myself. I'm only using my leg muscles and I guess my abs too, like my core a bit with that. So it's like I'm standing up on the stage and then these are my legs, by the way, and then I just like go down into a middle split. But to do that without leaning over to use your hands to steady yourself on the stage floor, it's difficult. And it's something I typically have to stretch a lot for if I'm going to try to do that kind of thing. And lately I just haven't been able to stretch as much as I should be trying to. It's just more difficult to squeeze it in to the kind of shifts that I've been doing lately, like more like the later night shifts kind of. And I really didn't get to stretch that much yesterday before trying to do that move, but I still was able to do it twice. And up until last night, it had been a while since I had even attempted to try to do it because, again, it's difficult, it's painful, it hurts. It just really hurts. But I'm so happy with myself when I'm able to do it because it's difficult, you know, like, so I was just really excited that I was able to access that zone last night and the night before today. So tonight, and then yeah, my favorite manager used to be working Tuesday and Wednesday nights as well. So not that long ago, they would have been working tonight too, but just recently that's changed and now they're no longer here on Tuesday or Wednesday either, apparently, or like not that I've seen lately. So, but you know what? I'm telling myself, okay, so tonight I'm just going to try to stretch. I'm really going to try to like just, you know, relax, tone it down a bit, not, you know, put all this pressure on myself to try to like climb the pole as much and do all these pole tricks. Like it was difficult enough for me to get my ass out the door and like to the club today, like to work today. You know, there was a big part of me that really didn't, you know, just wanted to say fuck it and not bother, but I still managed to do it. I'm still here. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just compromise. I was able to get here at least, but you know, feeling the way I've been feeling with that and like just like so sore and not stretching enough, I'll at least try to take it a little easier tonight and just try to stretch most of the shift or just, you know, like kind of go at a little bit of a slower pace, you know, like just relax a bit. So because Sunday, I was hurting so bad this Sunday. I really almost didn't come in this past Sunday. And not just like the soreness, but the exhaustion, which is weird because I've mentioned this before, like it's actually easier most of the time for me to work after I've been working like the previous days or nights. Whereas when I take days off, it's usually harder for me to get back into it. So this Sunday, I hadn't worked for like the previous 4 days, I'm pretty sure, because I didn't work the Wednesday before that, and I didn't work Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Not at the club anyways. I mean, I was working on other things. You know, there's always stuff that I have to be doing, pretty much, or that I am trying to do. But I didn't work at the club the previous 4 days, or nights, just at all. So going in Sunday, it was just me trying to get myself out of bed and out the door this past Sunday. It felt like like gravity. Like, imagine like tossing a ball into the air. I'm the ball. Up towards the sky is like me trying to go to come into the club, to go into the club that night, that day, that night. Try to, like, you know, get myself up out of bed. So, but what happens when you toss a ball into the air? Gravity brings it back down. So the ball coming back down was like me in my bed. So that's how difficult it was for me. I'm the ball. This is the floor. This is my bed. This is me going into work at the club up here. You toss the ball up. Gravity wants to just bring me back down to my bed. And I was trying to keep the ball. I was trying to make the ball go up into the air and stay there, and then go higher and higher into work, into the club, and then once I got to the club, higher and higher to climb the pole and do stuff, which I did somehow. But it was like trying to like defy gravity, and not only defy gravity, but somehow use magic powers to like make the ball rise higher into the air after you've already let go of it, after you've already tossed it, and it's supposed to come back down with the gravity. But somehow you have to like telekinetically like use your mind to like force the ball up back higher and higher into the air without using your hands, and you just say, fuck you, gravity. It sounds impossible. And it sure felt that way this past Sunday, but I somehow made that shit possible, and I did it, and it sucked ass. But again, I was able to access that zone that I was trying to get back into briefly, but I got a little taste of it again, you know. I think I would have been able to do it more, get into that zone more and better had I not been so tired and exhausted and hurting so much. But then again, that was Sunday. Yesterday, so Monday, the following shift, I was feeling a little bit better, and that's when I did my splits without using my hands and stuff. So that was nice. Oh, anyway, what else? Oh yeah. So back to the DJ being a female that I've been working with lately. So it's still a guy DJ on the weekends, which is a big part of why I don't do the weekends. The two Aquarius DJs from years ago, they messed me up. They fucked with me so bad that I'm like, I just don't want to have to work with a male DJ anymore. So the male DJ that works here now, I have worked with him in the past plenty of times, and he's always been pretty nice to me. He's never really given me a hard time the way that the other two guys did, thankfully. But I still have so much trauma and like fear from those other two guys that it's still too difficult for me. Plus he uses like a smoke machine to like smoke the place out, which I'm allergic to. And I also have like trauma from being in a smoky room and almost dying that way when I was a teenager. So it's just a combination of things, really. I'm also very allergic to it. So it's like a double, triple, quadruple whammy for me with that thing and with that smoke stuff. But also with that guy working, at one point, this was years ago, but there was a time that I was working one of his shifts and on the pole, and I, you know, did some of my tricks upside down while he was working and in the DJ booth and stuff, and my wig fell off, which has never really happened to me here before. I think it happened back in 2011 when I like first auditioned. I didn't even like really start working as a dancer after that. Like that was like obviously way back in the day. But back then I wasn't bald. So back then, and I wasn't like going on the pole back then because I didn't know how to. But back in 2011 when I like auditioned, it didn't happen during my audition, thankfully, but it happened like some point later on in that same night, like that same kind of shift. But when that happened, I just had my natural hair underneath, so it was like not really that big of a deal. And again, it wasn't on the main stage, it was like off to the side, like one of the smaller side stages where there weren't really that many people. It just wasn't that big of a deal. Whereas when this happened, when my wig fell off on the pole a few years ago with this other guy DJ that works here now, I think it was because we had the smoke going and, you know, I was just like all distracted by it. And again, it was just a combination of things that I think contributed to this happening. But I was bald at that point, or I was like, this was before I was fully bald. And I sometimes wonder if me being bald now is related to the allergy that I have to that smoke stuff. Like, I don't have eyebrows, I don't have eyelashes anymore. I have bad rashes from this stuff. So I'm not too sure if the reason for my hair loss is like other health conditions that I really don't know what they would be because I don't have health insurance or go to the doctors. Or if maybe it is just related to this allergy that I have to this smoke stuff that they use on the weekends. I'm really not too sure. Again, I'm assuming it's probably a combination of factors like that. But when my wig fell off that time, more recently, when I wasn't fully bald at that point, but I was bald enough, and I was probably like 70 to 80% bald on my head. I had like very, very small few sparse patches of hair. So when my wig fell off, when I was on the pole, I was on the main stage, like the big stage, the big pole, the main area. This was a busy weekend night. There was a crowd full of people, and there was a lot of other dancers that I knew, like that I was familiar with, that were familiar with me. I don't even remember who they were. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember a whole lot because I think I tried to block it out. But when that happened, the only thing I really cared about in that moment was just don't fall off the pole. Because my natural reaction was going to be to want to try to grab the wig with my hands to not let it fall completely off my head. But if I had done that, I probably would have fallen off the pole. Like, so it was like, well, either the wig falls off my head or I fall off the pole. So I had to kind of make that choice in that moment, and I chose to not fall off the pole. That's all I really cared about. Like, that's not all I cared about. I still cared about the wig falling off and the baldness underneath, but honestly, it would have been better to have just been full bald. I'm full bald now, but back then I wasn't. It was like these really weird, unattractive patterns. It was like the worst looking pattern of where the hair still was. And that to me like looked so much worse than just having like a clean slate bald head like I do now. So that was pretty traumatizing. That was like really, really, obviously that was very embarrassing. But the main thing I ended up caring about was just not falling off the pole and getting seriously injured. So luckily that didn't happen. But I just kind of like got myself safely back down to the stage floor, off the pole, picked up my wig, and just kind of tried to get out of there. I don't really remember, honestly. I honestly don't remember what happened after that. I just know that that's a big part of why I'm like afraid to work with a guy DJ now, or like a male DJ. It's just again a combination of things and reasons and factors that factor into it. But so that is a big also a big part of the reason I've been doing the night shifts earlier in the week, like the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So partly because that's when my favorite manager was working, and then also partly because that's when we have a female DJ that comes in around 9 or 10 at night. So, you know, I just feel safer with a female for whatever reason. For whatever reason. So, and I think she's a lesbian. I don't know if I'm a lesbian or not. I have no idea. It's all a big mystery to me. I'm a mystery to myself. Like, there's certain things that I know about myself, how I feel one way or the other. Like, I know I hate the smoke machine. I know I hate that shit. That's one thing I know for sure. I know that I fucking hate that shit. I know that I hate winter. This is not a debate for me. This is not a question mark. These things I know. I know I hate the smoke machine at the club. I know that I hate winter. I know that I hate menstruation. Those things will never change for me. They'll never be cloudy or gray. That's a solid, hard fact, all the way to one side where I know that solid answer how I feel. Whereas a lot of other things for me, I really don't know how I feel about them a lot of the time. Like my sexuality or lack thereof, I'm like, I think I'm asexual, or maybe I'm bi, or maybe I'm a lesbian, or maybe I think I'm just asexual, but I'm still attracted to guys too. Like sometimes, not very often, but or like I think I am, but I don't really know. I don't really know. And there's just a lot of stuff like that where I feel like I'm a mystery to myself, and like, why can't I figure out how I feel about this or that thing? There's a lot of things like that. So for me, anyways, so this female DJ, I think she's a lesbian, and that's exciting. So maybe once my favorite manager leaves next spring, and hopefully this female DJ will still be working, and I can just like redirect my energies and like focus my new like crush onto her or something. That's my plan anyways. I guess she had a fiance, like a female like fiance that passed away recently, which obviously sucks. Like I do feel really bad about that. But then on the other hand, I'm like, well, maybe that means she's single, or we've never really talked very much. But I do remember one time she came into the kitchen when I was back there, because I'm usually back there, and I don't know, she's been back there plenty of times before, and she's never really like talked to me or like tried to make conversation. And like I've thought about trying to, but I'm just really shy and like in my own head, or like trying to watch my YouTube videos back or something like that, you know, doing something on my phone, taking notes for my next YouTube video, that kind of thing, you know, taking notes about something. But one time, somewhat recently, she started to make conversation with me and ask me questions about myself. She actually asked me if I had kids, and maybe that was like her way of asking, like trying to like tell if I was like straight or not, because I don't have kids. And so I was like, oh no. And then I had kind of like secretly like looked her up on Facebook before. I don't really go on Facebook that much anymore. But every now and then I will, you know, just out of curiosity or whatever. And so I looked her up on there one time, and I saw something where I guess she like does stand-up comedy, which I've always really liked and been interested in. I have a lot of jokes that I have like written or that I have jotted down, but like even though I'm able to get up on stage here at the club and get naked for people that way, it's really difficult for me to imagine myself being able to get up on a stage in any other way, shape, or form in front of a crowd of people, like to try to like tell my jokes to people that way, or to try to like do stand-up comedy like as myself telling the jokes. So when I saw that, I was kind of like, ooh. And then so when she started initiating some conversation with me, like maybe a month or two ago in the kitchen here at work, here at the club, I mentioned that. I was like, oh, I didn't mention that I looked her up on Facebook, but I was like, oh, I heard you do stand-up comedy. And she was like, yeah. And she's like, I have some jokes about you guys and about working here at the club. She said she had like 10 minutes. And I was like, 10 minutes? You ought to have more than that at this point. And I was like, I can add to that. I was like, maybe I could like, I didn't say this part, but I was thinking in my head, I was like, maybe I could like write jokes for her, or like help, like add, like contribute more to like her jokes that she said that she had about here at the strip club, because I have a lot of jokes about the strip club. I have a lot of jokes about being a dancer and doing this kind of thing here at the club. So I didn't really mention that part yet again, but I was thinking it, and we chatted for a few minutes, and she seems pretty cool. So I've never been with a female, like really, so that's fun to think about. Anyway, what else? I really just have to get over this little like maybe crush I think I've maybe had on this manager, since I know they're leaving and stuff. But you know what, with my favorite manager leaving next spring, for a while I was like, how am I going to deal with that? Like, what am I going to do? Am I going to say goodbye to them or not? But now it's kind of like, for the longest time I was trying to figure that out, but now recently I'm realizing this problem, in some way, that problem has kind of been resolved on its own, like, because I'm not really able to work as many shifts that they do as much anymore anyways. It seems like most of their shifts very recently have been moved towards the weekends, which again, I don't really work the weekends anymore, or not the nights anyways, because of the smoke machine and the male DJ and that kind of thing. And the crowd, you know, it's just like too overwhelming. It's too much for me, my anxiety and all these different reasons. So, I mean, I really don't see my favorite manager here at the club that much anymore anyways. Whereas before, I was doing like all their day shifts, like a year ago or so. I was seeing them a lot. I was working with them a lot. And it has just kind of like naturally tapered off and like, you know, phased out, which I guess is for the best since they're leaving, you know. So I guess now, like, since I really don't see him that much anyways, I guess hopefully I just won't have to worry about, you know, when they leave next spring, it just won't be as much of an issue. It won't be as much of a thing for me because, again, I hardly see them anymore anyways now. You know, it still sucks and I'll still miss them a lot, but oh well. That's just how things go, I guess, for me anyway. That's just life. Oh, what else? It's getting dark out. Oh. The sky was really pretty. It still is, but it's almost like fully a dark sky now. And let's see, it is 4:30. Oh, is this video? Yep, this video is almost an hour. Holy crap. Oh. Well, I guess one more thing for today. Before I wrap this up for today, / tonight at this point. I mentioned in my last video yesterday about not going to visit my gram in person for quite a while. In the video yesterday, I said it's been since September of 2018 since I've seen her in person. But I put in the description, I realized later after doing that video, it was actually 2019. It was pretty much right before 2020. Go figure. So September of 2019 is when I last saw her in person, and that was because she still drives a lot. She's always been a good driver and she likes to drive. So like now her older sister lives a state away from her and she drives to go see her older sister like all the time. So she just drives a lot. But for her to come down to the state that I'm in, I'm further away than her sister. Her sister's probably like, even though her sister's in another state, it's in very close proximity to where my grandmother lives, like maybe about half an hour, 40 minutes. Whereas where I live, it's technically like a state or two away, but it's a much further drive. It's a much further distance. It's probably like 3 or 4 hours. So back in 2019, she was still able to make the drive to the state that I'm in, to come visit me. And I mean, I still had to drive then to go meet up with them because she didn't drive directly to where I am, but close enough to where, you know, she drove down to the area that I used to go to high school in. So that's about 45 minutes from where I am now. So back in September of 2019, I was able to make the 45-minute drive down to that area in the state that I'm in where she had driven to, and we met up there in the beach area. Her and my grandfather used to get a condo by the beach. My grandfather has since passed away, so they no longer do that. But that was the last time I think that they did that year, 2019. It used to be a thing they did every September. So, I mean, September is my favorite month anyways with the weather, but I think that's another reason I love September so much is because I have memories of my grandparents visiting that month. So yeah, because that was only a 45-minute drive for me to go visit them that way, I was able to do that back then. Honestly, even that 45 minutes was a long drive for me though. It was still, you know, I hate to drive. I mean, I just hate to drive so much. It's weird because my grandmother really likes it and my mom and I both hate it. I mean, I'm terrified of driving. I hate it so much. I don't live far from the club here that I work at, thankfully. So, I mean, I purposely made a point to try to get a place as close to the club as I could. So, I've actually done driving videos back to my apartment from here at the club. And if you watch those videos, the drive is literally like 5-10 minutes. It's like 10 minutes, pretty much, 10-15. But not far. So, I mean, that's pretty much like 5-10 miles. And that's like basically my max for driving. But I was able to make an exception back in 2019 to visit with my grandparents. But I just wanted to, because in my video yesterday, I mentioned not feeling really up to driving to the state that she lives in to go visit her since then. Because again, that drive is like a 3 or 4 hour drive. And I do feel really bad about that, but at the same time, it's like, you know, we talk on the phone a lot. Sometimes we do the FaceTime calls to like see each other's faces that way. But also, like, I don't know, I just really feel like a piece of shit, and like I really feel guilty and bad, especially saying that out loud, how I haven't visited her in all that time. But I was kind of saying in my video yesterday, like, I have very, very bad anxiety, undiagnosed and untreated. I don't have health insurance, I don't go to the doctor, so I don't have treatment for my many issues. A lot of them I don't even know what they would be, but I do know that I definitely have extreme, extreme, extreme anxiety, to where I just don't feel capable of making a drive like that. It would pretty much be akin to putting a 5-year-old child in a dinghy style boat and telling them to go sail around the world by themselves. That's how it feels like for me trying to drive anywhere more than 5 miles in any direction, basically. But also a part of that, the GPS on my phone has messed up many, many times before. Any electronic device that I have, my phone, my laptop, it seems like they're all hacked by some mystery stalker, or just something, gang stalkers, I don't know exactly what. But I also, even if I wanted to try to like toughen up and just like try to make a drive like that anyways, despite the anxiety, I mean, I would pretty much have a panic attack, I think, trying to do that kind of thing. But if I were to try to force myself, not only do I have that extreme untreated anxiety, I can't trust my phone. I can't trust the GPS on my phone, because again, like I've used my GPS on my phone for just around the area that I'm at, you know, 5-10 miles to go to this place or that place from time to time. And my GPS messes with me. It messes up. It's like somebody's hacked into it. And that's scary and frustrating enough, just driving a few miles or trying to. But to imagine that kind of thing happening when I'm by myself in this piece of shit little crappy old car that always has issues like every year pretty much, and you know, when I'm out on the big open road, the highways, trying to drive like hours and hours and hours out of my way in areas that I'm not familiar with, that I haven't been in over a decade. I'm a terrible driver. I have a terrible sense of direction. Other people are terrible drivers, like worse than I am a lot of the time. So it's not just that I'm that much of a pansy, although I am, and I will admit that, like I definitely am, but I can't even use the GPS on my phone, really. I couldn't trust it. It's all hacked. It's all messed up. So, I mean, I can't trust anything. I've mentioned earlier in this video and other videos of mine here, my car has been broken into. I've had stuff go missing from my car. So it's like, I can't feel safe in my car. I can't feel safe anywhere. You know, I feel like I cannot trust anything at all. Not even myself. I can't trust any single thing on this planet, anywhere. Not a person, place, or thing, not even my damn self. That's a fucked up feeling right there. Let me tell you, that's a fucked up feeling. It really is. It's a shitty, 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 shitty way to exist. It really is. It's fucking terrifying. But that's how it is for me. So, do I feel like a piece of shit for not being able to go visit my gram? Obviously, yeah. But, you know, there are reasons. So I just wanted to clarify that. So, you know, for people that are like, whoa, what the fuck? You say that she's like one of your favorite people. She is, but again, like, for me to not even be able to use the GPS with my phone, every time I'm on my laptop back at my apartment, it's all completely messed up. It's completely hacked. I don't know by what. I don't know by who. I don't even want to at this point. It's so freaking just terrifying and so frustrating, and just, what am I gonna do about it? You know what I mean? I don't know how to try to fix it. It takes everything in me, pretty much, it feels like, just to have the courage, or try to have the courage, to address these things, to speak them out loud, to acknowledge this stuff, you know, especially in such an open public format like the internet. Although, again, even trying to say this stuff on the internet, my stuff is so hacked, or it seems like it's been so hacked and messed with. I've mentioned also in a lot of my videos, I don't even know if people are actually able to see my videos, you know, here in my YouTube, if it's just an illusion, or if my views and subscribers are just a bunch of bots by one person, or whichever people might be hacking into my stuff and messing with my GPS and messing with my this and my that, and just everything on my laptop, it seems like, everything on my phone. Can't trust anything, you know? It's like, so yeah, and I don't know what to do about it. I don't know how to try to fix this stuff. It's such a huge struggle and such a huge thing for me to even try to acknowledge it, just to at least tell myself that I've had the courage to try to acknowledge it and say this stuff out loud. It's such a nightmare in my mind. It's so terrifying, and it's such a terrible, terrible feeling, and to at least know that I've had the courage to speak it out loud. And whether or not anybody can see these videos, or like actually if real people actually have the ability to see my YouTube or see my channel or see my videos or any of this, regardless of that, I've had the courage to take that chance and to try to, you know, again, just to put it out there, or try to, for anybody to see. Even if nobody's able to see it, I've had the courage to put it out in a place where there's the possibility that anybody could see it. Anybody that I know or don't know. And that's a huge freaking thing. For me to be as terrified as I am, and to have as much bullshit thrust upon me in so many different directions, a lot of which I don't even know where it's coming from, for me to still have the courage to take that chance and to try to put as much of myself out there and try to address this stuff as best I can like this, that is a lot to me. And, you know, whatever happens in the future, it's like, I will know within myself that even being as much of a pansy as I am, even being as terrified as I am all the time, and even with the anxiety and just being so scared of so many things, I've at least been able to muster up the courage to fucking try to address this shit as best I can, anyway, you know? Anyway. I do love my gram so much. She made me these, the wrist warmers with the ruffles, and I also brought this pair because I wasn't sure which pair was going to go better with my outfit, but obviously it's kind of too late to change them now. Maybe I'll wear these in another one. They look just like boring and brown right now, but there's actually a lot of like different colors interwoven through them, like kind of like autumn type colors. It's like autumn leaves kind of colors. So it's so dark out now, you can't really see. But I'll try to save these for another time. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, me at the club, especially last night, I mean, I've done this before, but especially last night, I kept coming out to the lobby to like stare at my car, you know, and like just keep trying to check on it. And then later into the evening, when we had a floor host out in the lobby as well, you know, like they've noticed me doing that before, and they kind of like comment on it. Like they'll see me come out to check on my car, and they'll be like, it's still there. And I'm like, yeah, okay, good, great. But you know, like, yeah, I don't, I don't trust anybody, and everybody kind of, you know, but I even said to them, I was like, well, I've had stuff go missing from my car. So, you know, I just said it. And that felt awkward and uncomfortable because this is a new guy too. It's like one of the newer floor hosts that we have here. So I don't know, like, if, but, you know, I said it. I was like, yeah. And then they actually said that the type of car that I have is well known for being easy to break into or whatever. They were like, oh yeah, they were like, oh yeah, it's on the internet, look it up. So I did look it up last night, or this morning. I looked it up this morning, and after my shift, and I mean, it did mention something kind of like that, but not. What I found online about it was that the type of car that I have is easier to start. They didn't say that it was necessarily easier to like break into, like open, like unlock the doors. But I guess it was something kind of along those lines. It said that it was easier to start. Oh, but also here at the club, they have these posters. It's like, so these posters came out pretty much, oh God, I hate to like say this stuff and like, I don't want to jinx it, but the last time that I really noticed something go missing from my car was, this past summer. I had been trying to tidy up, clean out different parts of my apartment. There was actually something that I had noticed that had gone missing from my apartment. It was a really nice burgundy colored corset that I had, and that was in the top drawer of this like cabinet kind of thing that I had with other outfits in it. So when I noticed that had gone missing, I didn't want anything to do with the entire cabinet that had been in. So I took the entire cabinet full of outfits and just brought it here to the club. It's actually in the dressing room right now. So this past summer I did that. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna get rid of this entire thing, this entire cabinet full of outfits. But there were still some outfits in the other drawers that I, you know, liked enough to not want to get rid of. So rather than just get rid of all the outfits that were still in there, I took a lot of those out and I tried to organize through some of my other dancer clothes for the club, and I put different outfits in there, like different ones that I didn't want or didn't like as much. And I brought a lot of stuff. I stuffed every one of those drawers in that cabinet full of clothes that I didn't want anymore, and I brought it into the club, and I just put it in the dressing room and let other dancers have it for free. But in the process of doing that, I found a lot of old other little like accessories and garments that I really liked that I hadn't seen for a while. And so I had a little Ziploc bag full of some of my like recent favorites of those that I had found, and I had been like trying them on at the club, and like seeing which ones, like how I liked to wear them, like mix and match them to like make different styles of outfits with them. And I left that Ziploc. I tried to keep that Ziploc in my bag, in my backpack that I carry around with me at all times, to have on my person with me at 24/7, because, you know, like the stuff, anything that's not on my person at all times is liable to just be gone and be taken from me and go missing, is how it feels like. So I tried to keep that Ziploc bag with those recent favorite little outfit things that I had found after trying to sort through some of the stuff in my apartment this past summer. I had it in my backpack for a while, but my backpack is just so stuffed full of things to where, again, I can barely lift it. It's so heavy. It's just stuffed to the brim, and I really can't fit anything else in there. So at some point, I took that Ziploc bag with those little outfit things that I had found, and I put it in a different bag, a different little backpack in my car. And I left that backpack in my car when I was at the gym. This was back this past summer. So I'm at the gym. I'm running on the treadmill for 99 minutes straight at a speed of over 6 miles an hour, which for me, you know, I'm short. I have short legs. That's not something that I normally do. It's certainly been a while since I've done it. But this past summer, I was doing that pretty regularly. And I got myself into some pretty damn good shape, I like to think. It's all ruined now because of, you know, my lack of me just giving up, basically. I mean, a combination of things. This happens all the time in the winter. In the winter, I always just undo all my progress because it's so cold and I can't afford to have the heat on in my apartment. My apartment doesn't hold heat anyways. You know, with the windows, the wind blows right into the windows and yada yada. So I guess part of it is like a lack of discipline for why I'm not anywhere near in the shape that I was for this summer. You know, but it's just so cold. It's the winter. It's, you know, a combination of things. But this past summer, man, I was pretty proud of myself. I was pretty proud of my body, and I felt like I was in really good shape. I mean, it took a lot for me to at least have the discipline then to jog on that treadmill. At that point, it felt like actual running. So yeah, I was doing 99 minutes straight, over 6 miles an hour, and I was really proud of that shit. But meanwhile, while I'm doing that, right? I'm doing that. Meanwhile, I have stuff being taken out of my car. So awesome. So, I mean, that little Ziploc full of outfits, I guess that technically could have gone missing when I was here at the club. But for whatever reason, I'm pretty sure that might have happened when I was at the gym. Regardless, this kind of thing has happened like anywhere I go practically. So it's not like it's one or the other. It's like this just happens for me, unfortunately. So that Ziploc baggie, that was the last thing that I remember going missing. I'm sure this will update or change in the future, unfortunately. Hopefully not. I don't want to jinx it, but whatever. I really don't care anymore. I do, but I don't, you know. So right after that happened, the club put up, literally right after that happened, the club put up these posters everywhere. And on the posters, it was like this advertisement for this app or this website for dancers to go on and post like sexy photos and sexy videos for their fans, you know. And in the description underneath the, like, you know, at the bottom of the poster, it was like, it just specifically uses the words like unlock. Let your favorite customers unlock your most secret private stuff. Just the way that they word it, like anytime, a lot of these posters were posted on the walls, but a lot of them were like left out just like on flat surfaces like tables or just countertops here and there throughout the club. And anytime that I came across one, which was happening a lot and still does, but when I'd be coming across one that was just left out on a table or a countertop, I would have to flip it upside down, you know, because it was just like hurting my brain too much to see it. Because yeah, the description literally says like, have all your just let all these customers unlock your most private personal things. Obviously it worded it a little different than that, but that was the basic gist. And it specifically said unlock and personal and private, and it's like, go fuck yourselves. You know what I mean? Like literally, figuratively, just all the fuck around. What a bunch of bullshit. And, you know, this stuff is like part of the many reasons I just really am not a huge fan of existing all that much. Like, what is the point of this torture? I must have been Hitler in a past life, I feel like. or just like somebody that did some really bad shit. I've done, obviously, like pretty much anybody, I've done some bad stuff in this lifetime of mine, this existence, but there's really not anything I could think of to warrant like the amount of just absolute bullshit that's been thrust upon me by so many other places and people and things, a lot of which I'm not even aware of, but plenty of them. I can think of a lot of very specific people with that, and then a lot of the times it's just a mystery. I don't even know. But it's like, damn, was I Hitler in a past life? Or just like, what could I have possibly done in a past life for this shit to be like this? It must have been some fucked up shit though. Like, it must have been damn bad for things to be the way that they are and the way that they have been. Like, damn. I don't know. I just try my best still. I'm still gonna try my best. I haven't seen any squirrels today. Damn, that's weird. The ones yesterday, holy crap, they were so freaking cute. I was like, are those real? Those can't be real. That can't be real either. At one point, there were two squirrels, both facing each other. They were probably like, I don't know, maybe 10 feet apart, 5 to 10 feet apart from each other. They were both facing each other like bookends. It was like bookends basically, but pretty far apart. I don't know, yeah, 5 to 10 feet. But they were facing each other, both doing this, the little thing that they do sometimes, the little pose. And they were just kind of still like that, just facing each other. And they held that pose for a few moments. And that was the pose that I was trying to capture on video. And I watched that video back earlier, and it looks like I did manage to get that general like screen area on my phone. However, it was, again, what I kind of figured would happen. It was far enough away to where you can't really see it that well in the video. But oh well, at least it was something that I was able to get on the screen in some way, shape, or form, at least to an extent, at least a bit. I just love squirrels so much. Yeah, I just try to focus on the things that I do like and sometimes love, like squirrels and earmuffs. And Paris and Taz and my gram and my favorite manager, etc., etc. At the outro of my video, from yesterday, I was like, okay, goodbye guys, yay squirrels. And then that's when it ended. But before it had ended, I also was saying, yay squirrels. And then I was like, ... and earmuffs. Excuse me, but that part, you know, I guess I had pressed the end button before the earmuffs part got into the video, which, damn it. Oh, you know what? I'll do that in this video instead. Like, yay, squirrels and earmuffs. But it's not as exciting. It doesn't count as much for me because I didn't see squirrels in this video, and I'm not wearing my earmuffs. Whatever. I gotta wrap this up. Almost an hour and a half. Damn. My God. Oh. This is fun to do. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm so glad that I was able to come on today and do this video with you guys. Tomorrow, I don't know. I didn't do Wednesday last week, but I did do Wednesday the week before. So, we'll see. I think it said we're supposed to have some sun tomorrow. So that would be a nice reason for me to try to come out and maybe come into the club, do a video if I can, beforehand. And then, yeah, if I see Taz later tonight, maybe her and I can do our round 3 for our interview video, where I ask her lots of personal stuff, which is always fun. maybe we could do that tonight or tomorrow if I come in tomorrow. We'll see, but I definitely want to try to come on again pretty soon. Oh, you know what? That reminds me, I'm almost at 100 videos. I guess this will be my 97th video, and I had actually posted 2 other videos this past summer that YouTube removed, which really bummed me out. I guess, I don't know, I had mentioned some things that were not politically correct enough, which really sucks. I hate trying to be PC so much, but I try so hard because I know that a lot of people and the internet just can't handle shit all of a sudden, apparently. Like, I mean, damn, back in the day, there was some crazy crap on the internet. There was some crazy stuff. And now it's like, I don't know if it's just certain websites that are so like, you gotta like walk on eggshells. I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird vibe sometimes. Like, damn, people really can't handle shit, can they? Let me go climb up this 15-foot lotioned pole a few more times, you know, well, it's like 20 degrees outside, to try to warm my body up to go outside in the 20-degree weather without a jacket. Let me go do this next 10-hour shift here at the strip club where nobody tips me and all these guys hate me. Placing bets amongst themselves for when I'm gonna fall off that pole that they seem to rub lotion on over and over. Damn. It's like, I think about the stuff that I've tried my best to handle, that a lot of times I've really had no choice but to try to handle. And then it's like, why can't the internet handle anything anymore? Like, what happened there? But whatever. Anyway, so if those 2 videos hadn't been removed this past summer, then this would be my 99th video. And then I also have a couple of videos in my storage on my phone. Obviously they're not lives like this one, and like most of my videos have been recently and for a while now. When I first started my channel this past summer, I was doing a lot of, back when I still had a little bit of storage left on my phone, I was doing a lot of regular style videos. So I still have a couple of those from back then that I haven't posted yet. I guess there's like maybe 2 or 3 that I just feel like, well, I know in a couple of them I felt like they were too much along the lines of the kind of stuff that I was mentioning in the videos that were removed. So I didn't want to push my luck with that, you know, because I was mentioning a lot of the same kind of things. So I didn't post those ones for that reason. And then I guess, yeah, also in the other ones, I felt like I was saying too much about something, whatever it might have been. I mean, I guess some of those, there's 1 or 2 that I probably could post because they weren't, I don't know, I felt like for me personally, they might have been saying too much about my own personal stuff, but I don't think they were, a couple of them, I don't think were saying too much along the lines of being similar to the ones that were removed. So for the ones that are just like too much for my personal taste with that, technically I could post those, but I mean, whatever. I usually do, a couple, at least a few videos every week pretty much. So I'm feeling like most likely my 100th video will be, if not later this week, then next week. I mean, it's definitely right around the corner, because yeah, this is 97 right here. So that's pretty exciting to me. And damn, like, I can't believe it. Wow, that's so exciting. But anyway, so this is 97 right here apparently. But I'm gonna wrap this up for now. I'm so glad I was able to come on and do this with you guys. Another thing I was thinking about with that too, a lot of the stuff that I do want to like try to talk about here on this channel, I am really nervous about because of those videos that were removed. So a part of me is like, you know, I wouldn't want to take too many risks with this channel, especially since so many of my videos on this channel are live lately. You know, like I just wouldn't want to, you know, this channel means a lot to me and I wouldn't want to take too many risks with it. As far as like content and subject matter and the things that I say and that kind of thing. So I was kind of thinking lately, maybe something that I could think to try to do for that would be to start a second channel, kind of like an extension of this one, but for, I guess, like the true subs, like maybe as a way to maybe also as a way to try to weed out like some of the potential bots or the potential like fake subscribers, to try to get more of an idea if like I actually do have any real human followers and subscribers on this channel, or if it is really just all bots. Because maybe on that second channel I could try to feel a little bit more okay with taking more of a chance as far as talking about, you know, some stuff that might not be considered as politically correct, or I don't know, just stuff that still feels too risky for me to talk about on this channel. Just especially with how many of my videos are live on this channel and not saved on my phone, and that kind of thing. You know, I've just put so much work into this channel and so much time. You know, a lot of my videos are pretty long. This one's an hour and a half, and a lot of my videos are an hour, over an hour. You know, a short video for me is like 40 minutes. 30 minutes is like considered an extremely short video for me. And so many of the videos that I'll start off saying like, hey guys, I just want to say a quick hello, and I'll have the intention of it being a quick video where I'm just going to mention a few things, just come on, just to say hi, you know. But I don't know, I guess apparently I have a lot of stuff to say, or I want to think I do, I feel like I do. A lot of words just seem to end up coming out of my mouth for whatever reason. But that's an idea too, maybe for me to possibly, yeah, start a second channel, to venture off of this one with, and maybe touch on a few more like kind of personal topics that I'm not comfortable. It's not that I'm not comfortable like myself putting that on this channel, but it's just for the internet's sake and for YouTube's. I just think it's the internet and YouTube that can't handle it. I'm pretty sure I could handle it. It's just I'm not sure if, you know, again, having videos removed in the past, I wouldn't want to risk that too much on this channel if I can help it, or try not to. So yeah, that's something I was thinking about with that. What was I gonna say? Oh, and then also I was thinking of maybe starting a Facebook page for this channel, because I know like it seems like here on YouTube people can't really do direct private messages to other users and other screen names. It's all just kind of like public comments, it looks like. So just as maybe a way for like people that did want to have more kind of like private, direct contact connection as far as messaging and learning more about other places you can find me online, and maybe possibly where to find me at the club. I was thinking of maybe starting a Facebook page for that kind of thing. It's just, again, it's very, it just seems very risky to me, and I wouldn't want to take too many chances with that. So maybe, if anything, maybe I could try to do that from a second channel, kind of linked to this one. And that, I think that would be a way to try to weed out a lot of the bots, if there are any actual humans, like, you know, on here. So I'm just not too sure. That's all very, very scary stuff for me. Again, it's not even really just scary because of my own personal fears and limitations. Personally, I feel like I'd probably be okay with it. It's just like the rules, or it's just I'm not even too aware exactly of what the rules or limitations would be for the YouTube side of it or for the internet side of it. I know that anything related to the adult industry on like regular kind of websites, like mainstream, it seems like that kind of thing is extremely, extremely strict and extremely, extremely regulated. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just, ugh, I just hate that feeling, you know, but oh well, what can you do sometimes? A lot of the time, really. I don't know, these are just things that I'm trying to think about, trying to figure out as best I can in my head right now, like, you know, cause yeah, I would like to try to venture off into other little directions here and there and try to expand my, you know, horizons and things that I'm able to do with this channel, as best I can. I know one dancer here at the club, I noticed that she does TikTok videos, from here at the club, and it looks like she actually talks about the specific club here that we work at, like the name of the club and like where to find her. And I noticed her on there pretty recently, and I asked her about it, and I was like, oh, like you mention in your videos like where you actually work and the actual name of this club. And she was like, well, yeah, she was like, I want to try to get people to come in here. And I was like, oh, I was like, well, that doesn't freak you out as far as like safety or like that kind of thing. And she didn't really go into detail. I don't know, but from what I could gather, she didn't really seem, I was like, oh, you've never had any issues with stuff like that? And she made it, I don't know, I kind of got the feeling that she didn't really worry about it, or she made it seem like she hadn't had that many issues or any issues with that or doing that kind of thing. And I was like, well, yeah, I guess you could consider that to be like a promotional kind of thing, like a way to try to promote yourself and yeah, maybe get customers here at the club. I don't know. I just feel like with me and my channel, like the things that I talk about here on my channel, if I were to try to do that, and if customers were to actually like see my stuff online, especially with this channel specifically, and try to come into the club to see me, I feel like with the stuff that I've talked about in my videos, it's like a lot of it's very dark and personal and like, you know, kind of scary stuff. Like, I feel like it would probably not attract, it could get some bad apples with that, you know what I mean? Like people that are just trying to take advantage of me further. I've already had so many people mess with me and take advantage of me in the past and present that it's like, you know, it's hard to think that that wouldn't continue to be a trend, you know, with that kind of thing. And with this, me trying to be so open and honest about stuff that I have struggled with and dealt with and still struggle with and deal with and stuff. Something about my look and my personality and just, I don't know, the way that I do things, it's definitely attracted a lot of bad apples in the past, unfortunately. So, you know, I'm very torn with a lot of this stuff. It's like, yeah, obviously, of course, I would love to think that it's possible to get good customers too and good people. Of course, I want to attract good people and bring good people into my world and here into the club I work at. But that's just always seemed like such an impossibility for me. I feel like there's like a filter, like whoever hacks my stuff and whoever's in charge of things out there, it's like there's like a filter on my existence where it's like they're filtering out all the good it's like all the good people and good stuff gets filtered out sometimes, and it's like, here, we'll just like, you know, here's all these, you know, just send all those scary bad stuff her way and we'll watch her try to deal with it as best she can. I don't know. I don't want to think that way. I really try not to. But I just have a lot of crap in my brain and in my life and from my past and yada, 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 yada. I want to think that there's always room to grow into bigger, better things. Not just bigger, but better, you know, more positive. Like I try so hard to be positive, and it's like, damn, I just really, really, really want to believe that, you know, good things are possible too. Positive things are possible too. I've seen positive things happen. I've seen good things happen, but especially with the internet, you know, it's like, and being in the adult industry, I don't know. It's just, it's so really difficult for me. But anyways, this is so long. This is over, oh my God, it's almost 100 minutes. What's 100 minutes? So a half hour is 90, or an hour and a half is 90 minutes. So that means that this is an hour and 40 minutes. Holy crap. I think my longest video on here is 2 hours though, I'm pretty sure. or approximately, I think it was about 2 hours. Anyways, so yeah, this time I'm really actually gonna wrap this up now. We're at a nice 100 minutes, so that's a nice even number. Oh, and I was just mentioning that I'm almost at 100 videos. Oh wow, okay, that's kind of cool. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get to that within the next few videos that I do. I'll be able to get to 100, maybe later this week or next week, and maybe even later tonight I could try to do one, or tomorrow, or sooner than later, I like to say. So I'm gonna peace out for now, but hope you guys are well. And oh, yay squirrels and yay earmuffs. Yay squirrels and earmuffs. Woo! Bye for now, guys.